Well, what's up, guys? I'm back. Back with an NXT review for October 31st of 2018. This show is fucking full of stuff. Good in-ring action. 3 great matches that are set up for this coming NXT takeover for War Games. They were hitting on all cylinders tonight. Nothing seems to slow this company down, at least with the NXT. Can't say much for WWE's main roster, but I can't say that because I haven't been watching it all that much, but based on reviews from heard on the internet, it ain't so much of a big deal I'm missing. So, what the fuck? Who cares? This show is something I can talk about that's positive. It's not full of negativity. I'm not going to get angry over stupid bullshit. Now, I will say this. The main event that was supposed to have Bobby Fish and Adam Cole against the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowan, it unfortunately turned out to be a full-on backstage brawl that led to having this fight lead into the ring with Pete Dunne added to the mix, and Ricochet was also added to the mix. So with William Regal having a main event that went to no contest, he decided to go ahead and have this match, these 8 men, actually compete at War Games in the War Games matchup itself. So this time around, War Games has got a change of plans of how it's worked. We're going to actually see 4 guys on 2 different teams going at it instead of a 3-way team of guys against each other. So War Games is a little bit changed now. Now it's only 1-on-1 teams instead of a 3-way. We got the Undisputed Era versus the War Raiders, Ricochet and Pete Dunne. What a fucking awesome main event that's going to be. I hope the Undisputed Era once again win War Games. I hope they go undefeated for as long as they stay in NXT and compete at War Games pay-per-view events. This is going to be fun as shit to watch. I cannot wait to watch this event. I'm super ecstatic for it, and I hope it turns out to be a complete success like it always does for NXT, and I hope to see more and more great stuff happen from this. To be quite frank with you guys, I'm going to be on record here saying this. I think NXT needs to keep their roster the way it is. I think that WWE needs to stop putting more and more and more people on their brands. I think that is another reason why both Raw and SmackDown, let alone the fucking roster itself, the creativity of the writing part of the shows are absolute shit. It also has a lot to do with having so much talent. And let me tell you something. They have a lot of great talent. They need to stop bringing in so much talent. If you're going to bring in so much talent, have a lot more main roster brands that we can watch and actually enjoy and invest in those characters instead of playing political agendas and bullshit. But then again, if they even did that, they'd still fuck it up anyway. Because that's what WWE does. That's what they're known to doing nowadays. And that's what's so sad. But what's not sad is NXT. Because NXT's got what it takes, creativity-wise. If you gave them the shittiest roster on the planet, I guarantee you, they still could get by with that. And the reason being is because they got the most important backbone to a creative, to a wrestling promotion, a creative writing team. That is the most important thing. It's not just the in-ring talent that you got. The in-ring talent is just the icing on the cake. You have to have a good writing team. And without a good writing team, you ain't got nothing. Because the wrestlers can only do what they're told to do in the ring or what they're given to work with. So if you have in-ring talent that's not so great, but they can actually sell you something, and you have good writing creativity, my God, your wrestling promotion will work. Now, will it work to the level of any kind of working in a 50,000 capacity stadium of that kind of sort? Probably not. I'm not going that far-fetched and crazy, but I am saying this. If you have a good writing creative team, you're going to have a good promotion or brand, whatever way you want to put it. You're going to have a good brand. Not every wrestler's got to be great. All he has to do is be able to sell you something. Give you something to be invested in with that character. That's it. Tonight we got a new debut of a new superstar who used to be an MMA fighter in UFC. I love that they keep bringing in MMA fighters. Not just independent wrestling scene guys, but guys that actually had experience in mixed martial arts. Because they're going to bring that reality of what they learned in professional combat sports into the realm of the wrestling industry, and that is going to make it more believable. People are going to enjoy seeing guys truthfully sell you the idea that they are executing fucking hardcore hits. And let me tell you something. Women, the two women, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, I love them both. I think they're outstanding. They give wrestling a fresh breath of fresh air. It is just so enjoyable. And not also do the technician fighting that they learn from mixed martial arts carried over into the wrestling industry helps them, but also it makes the people that they're competing against look good too. So if you got a guy or a woman that is in the ring that's an MMA fighter, they could help lead them into a good match, even if they're a shitty wrestler. So that is great in itself. So I like that. And Matt Riddle is actually the new in-ring debut of NXT, added on to the NXT roster that we got to see tonight. Now, just to go a little into depth about his image. His image is kind of weird. He's got this, California beach Elijah Faber kind of look to him, while looking like he's getting ready to go into a mixed martial arts bout with no boots on, or at least kind of something to protect his feet. He goes in barefoot, which I don't think is a very good idea. Rusev used to do that, and look what happened to him. He ended up spraining his ankle really bad. Took him out of action for about 4 or 5 months or so, and he kind of, I guess you could say maybe he lost momentum, but I think he was losing the momentum by the time he had the injury. So that's not the point here or there, but the point being is he's kind of, I think he might be risking himself getting hurt or injured with his feet, which is eventually going to lead to him having to wear boots anyway. So honestly, I think that is something he needs to consider doing at some point. I mean, I do like the image that he's still trying to present the MMA look, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't work in professional wrestling realm, in my opinion. Maybe he's been doing that in the independent wrestling scene. Probably is. I wouldn't be surprised that he's dragging that image that he had in independent wrestling brands or promotions and brought it into the WWE NXT roster. So if that's the case, kudos to him if that's working out for him. But I think he should wear some sneakers or some kind of protective gear on his feet, like boots or something of some kind, so he doesn't get stepped on by somebody else who is wearing boots. But other than that, he brought in such a great image from what he learned in mixed martial arts and brought it into the WWE ring. He actually wrestled. We saw wrestling. Are you fucking crazy? Usually we're seeing basic punches, power slams, suplexes off of top ropes. Nothing too, in the amateur realm of what Kurt Angle used to do before he came to WWE. But we got to see what Kurt Angle used to do through Matt Riddle. I almost call him Riddle. And he actually grappled this guy that he was set up with, his name was Matt Reese, Reese, and Matt Reese was actually a pretty good wrestler as in his own right. He's from Britain, I believe he was, and he actually did a very good job. Even though he had to take the L, he actually did a great job with this matchup. What he was given, so I was very impressed with him as well. I hope to see him again. So I mean, very good job by both men, honestly. Matt Riddle getting his in-ring debut and this guy jobbing out to him did an outstanding job. I don't even look at him as a loser. I look at him as just a guy that got in the ring, competed very well, and he just lost. He didn't look like he was a loser. So, honestly, I see him possibly moving into WWE's NXT brand more frequently than not, probably. But very good matchup overall. I enjoyed that one. Let me see what I'm going to break into now. Okay. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch competed against Melendez and Alberto. These two Luchador tag team guys. Let me tell you something, guys. There was no title on the line. This was no main event. The two Hispanic wrestlers were not even, full-time NXT guys. These guys were probably just basically in-ring enhancement talents for Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan to show off their wrestling ability and get a win under their belt, returning back from injury for Oni Lorcan. And I gotta tell you guys, these two Hispanic guys are pretty fucking good. They really deserve to get on the main roster. You want to talk about tag team wrestling, and I mean tag team wrestling? You saw it here tonight. That was a hell of a tag team matchup. The Street Profits and the Almighty actually competed against each other. Their tag team match was good as well. And by the way, Street Profits revenged their loss from last month. So good for them. Good matchup. Decent overall. I'm glad that one of the tag team partners from the Street Profits are back from injury and is healthy and fine. So it was just a minor sprained knee, I guess. But thank God there was nothing serious about his injuries. So I thought he was going to be out for quite a while, but he wasn't. He just kind of was out for a few months, even though it was pre-recorded or whatever. But point being, this was actually, this matchup going back to the Danny Burch, Oni Lorcan matchup, tag team against this Hispanic Luchador tag team, was very impressive. Good action by both teams, and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I'll tell you what, there ain't nobody, and I mean nobody, that deserves those NXT tag team titles outside of the Undisputed Era than Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. I'm going to say it right now. If there is anybody that should be taking the titles from the Undisputed Era of Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, it is those two guys. Those guys impressed the living hell out of me to the point where I actually thought they were going to win. And because of that, they deserve to win the tag team titles from Undisputed Era for the NXT tag team titles. That's all I have to say on that, guys. That is straight to the point, honest truth. If you guys disagree with me, I think you're all crazy. Because these two guys are outstanding tag team performers. And on top of it, if you think about it, they bring some old school wrestling to the realm of modern day wrestling. All around. I love their image. I like the wrestling attire. It's very simple, straight to the point. It's very old school with plain colors, no mixy mash images on their clothing or nothing. They don't have their names on it. They only have the flag on their underwear, whatever the hell you want to call it, on their attire. And I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. It brings old school back to life. And I think that is definitely something that wrestling kind of needs a little bit back into the company again with some modern day wrestlers. So honestly, they're great in-ring performers. They got a great image. They look like hard-working guys, and I honestly think if you give them the tag team titles in this kind of fashion, and I think Mustache Mountain got that same kind of reaction, you're probably going to get a bigger reaction because these guys gave them a hell of a run for their money, and they weren't really supposed to get a tag team title match. They weren't even looked at as something that's going to be entertaining, worth watching, and they were probably going to be guided throughout the entire match by Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, and they weren't. They went stride for stride with them in that NXT TakeOver event, which I believe was in Chicago. And I gotta tell you guys, that was one of the best matches I've seen in tag team wrestling in a long, long time. Probably someone else will disagree with me and point out some other tag team wrestling matchup that happened on NXT that I might have not seen before, that came before it. And if so, I apologize, so excuse me. But me personally, that match blows any other tag team match away that I've seen so far in NXT wrestling. Mustache Mountain and the Undisputed Era is about the closest thing I've seen close to that matchup. And that was for their matchup that they had in UK. During they did that mixed match of UK wrestlers and NXT wrestlers together. That tag team matchup was awesome. I was pissed off though that Undisputed Era lost the titles, but man oh man was a good matchup. I can't deny that. What else happened? Nikki Cross, she had a match with this woman by the name of Victoria Martinez, and this matchup was good in itself as well. Good start up to the show, everything else. Aleister Black, by the way, just a short note, he was looking all over the place for Johnny Gargano, and he asked Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae couldn't give him an answer. She says, I have no idea where he's located. He hasn't talked to me, what have you, whatever. I wish they would have grabbed a microphone and say something like that to have the crowd be able to hear him, or the people at home that was actually watching the show. But regardless of all that, they didn't give us that kind of insight, I guess. But Candice LeRae looked a little kind of weird looking, a little out of character as well. Seemed like she was looking kind of dark and mysterious. Kind of a little clue there. You would think that possibly, and I mean possibly, and I said this a long time ago when they started this whole idea, hinting that it was Johnny Gargano, that it could be, and I mean could be, that Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa had an in cahoots with each other to set this whole thing up. They could have said, hey, why don't we go ahead, have a big giant hoopla, decide, we're not working out as a tag team, let's break up, we'll beat the shit out of each other, friendly competition, but make it look like we absolutely hate each other's fucking guts. We're entertainers. We're supposed to entertain. They could take the aspect of this shit's fake, and we just played you for fucking puppets. And in reality, all we were trying to do is steal the spotlight from Aleister Black, because he shouldn't have been a WWE an NXT champion. One of us should have been. And what we decided is, we're going to go ahead and steal the fucking show. And that's what we did. Because we're the fucking best in NXT. Now, going that route might actually affect Tommaso Ciampa's single career in a sense, with him being the highest ranked guy in NXT right now. But as a storyline twist, I think that would be fucking awesome. But looking at it long term, I don't know. I think it's a fun idea, but it's also a possibility of ruining Tommaso Ciampa's ability to be the top heel in the company. That's why I never thought it would be Johnny Gargano, because Johnny Gargano turning heel after he's been trying to capture the NXT World title and defeat a heel, such as Tommaso Ciampa, kind of makes me think that would be completely insane. So, honestly, I don't know. But it does leave a lot of creative ideas and ways of telling this story that can leave you guessing in 50 million different ways. As they already did with us trying to figure out who actually attacked Aleister Black. So, that's all there is said on that situation. Now is the storytelling of why. We found out who, now we need to know the why. Why Johnny Gargano attacked Aleister Black. And there's different scenarios that they could go with that probably would work. And that's what's so fun and entertaining about NXT. And that's something that WWE used to do. They used to give us storylines that would keep us guessing. Sometimes they were very predictable. Sometimes they were a little off the walls. But they always experimented. They always tried new things, or at least tried to do something. Put some kind of effort and care into something to get us interested in watching what they're trying to sell us. I only wish that would happen on the main roster. If a fucking minor league program like NXT that has a bunch of guys from the independent wrestling circuit coming on to this show and can give us almost 5-star classics practically on a whim every single fucking time, then I don't understand what the big deal is. But truth of the matter is, I honestly think that this company has a lot to offer to us, but refuse to go ahead and dig into the basket of theirs and whip out the goods. They just want to sit there and be lazy and do nothing for us while they count their money. That's all there is to it. So I'm not going to go on a full-on rant about the WWE main roster, but I may give us a video of that tomorrow because I'm going to have 2 days off from work. And I'm going to see about going ahead and doing a video like that and giving you guys my insight and what they got to offer to us that they could really do. And I'll see if I have the time to go ahead and do that, because I'm going to do other things besides worry about wrestling. I mean, bottom line is, guys, before I go, leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. You know the whole gig at the end of this video. But there is something I'm going to tell you guys. My schedule that I plan on trying to stick with for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is going to be a loaded review show coming at you for the next 3 days from Friday to Sunday. Friday, of course, Crown Jewel by WWE. Survival of the Fittest by Ring of Honor for November 3rd. And on November 4th, even though it was done on November 3rd, I'm doing New Japan Wrestling Power Struggle review. So I will be reviewing that as well. So if you guys want to catch those three reviews, it will be Crown Jewel Friday, November 2nd. Ring of Honor, Survival of the Fittest, November 3rd. And Power Struggle by New Japan Wrestling on November 4th. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the review. Hit the like button if you liked it. If not, well, I don't know what to fucking tell you. I guess apparently you don't like NXT or my review. And if you don't like my review, tough fucking shit. Because I think my review rocks. And I think I had a lot of good things to tell you. I understand I kind of stutter, hesitate what I'm trying to say. But I get to the fucking point, people. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great night. Bye.